One time somebody tweeted at me and was like, good morning to everyone, but especially good morning to Blake Griffin and his ties.
Yeah, you heard that right. Blake Griffin reacting to this viral photo and his status as a sex symbol.
I thought it was hilarious.
Meanwhile, the NBA superstar is busier than ever, juggling his career with the Detroit Pistons and launching a new podcast through Audible called The Pursuit of Healthiness with Blake Griffin.
Ultimately, I hope that people walk away a better version of themselves.
Outside of work, the dad of two opened up about his family and revealed he's open to finding love.
Yeah, I'm single right now.
Are you looking? What catches your eye? Blake Griffin, one of the busiest guys in the world. You're launching a podcast, The Pursuit of Healthiness. What inspired this decision?
I've always been very interested in health and wellness. Like even as a kid, my mom was a very, very healthy person, was always reading nutritionist books. I was a health and exercise science major in college. And then when I got to the NBA, I sort of just always picked the brains of our trainers and doctors. So I was like, if I'm going to have a podcast, why not interview people who I really want to find out some information from? And also, I think it's just sort of a daunting world in general, unless you truly understand it. I think there can be a lot of misinformation out there. So hopefully this sort of bridges that gap a little bit.
Yeah, I've listened to 2 episodes, and the way that it's just such a casual conversation, it's really easy to digest. For you, you're used to being on the other end. You're used to being the one being interviewed. So I'm curious, how are you liking being the one who asks the questions?
It's obviously challenging, but it's sort of like a mental workout because you're just sort of trying to take all this information in at one time, and you're trying to decipher, okay, should I follow up with this? Should I follow up with that? Let's dig in here more there. But at first I was it was completely out of my element. So hopefully the first episodes we recorded don't reflect that, but I'm sure they do.
I can vouch that you totally crushed it. So, I mean, I'm curious, did you go to any of your celebrity friends, people who have podcasts or talk show hosts? Did you go to anybody for advice?
I sort of made a conscious decision not to do that. I just wanted to study the Tim Ferriss podcast, Dak Shepard, Joe Rogan. And I think those are really, really interesting interviews, not because they're giving you so much information, but like you said, it just feels like a casual conversation.
Who's your bucket list guest to have on the show?
That's a great question. I think I think Michelle Obama is in all her work and everything health related. There's tons of people that are doing awesome stuff, but she's the GOAT.
You're Blake Griffin. I mean, I have to imagine that's an easy phone call.
Yeah, we're working on it.
I think the coolest thing about the podcast is that it covers so much ground and you talk about so many different things. Is there anything that is off limits? And what topics are you most excited to delve into?
For me personally, I think one that I didn't realize I was going to be so into was just mental health. I think especially as a man, and especially in the sports world, I think feelings and mental health is not something that's really talked about or brought up a lot. And I think just by having this conversation, you start to normalize it a bit better. I think it's just important for people to hear that even people like Michael B. Jordan, Antoni Porowski, or anybody is dealing with these things. It doesn't matter what line of work, where you come from, your background, your ethnicity, your religion, your gender, you have to deal with these things. And I think that's just important for people to hear.
You went really into the topic of anxiety and mental health with, like you said, Michael B. Jordan and Chelsea Handler. They really were huge proponents of therapy and working things out with a professional. Is that something that you have experienced or that you have done? And what was your experience like with it, if so?
Yeah, I definitely I have seen a therapist. I sort of had this view of it, of how you see in the movies, where you lay down on the couch and you really get into it. And I walked away realizing that it's not so much me going to this person and them telling me the answers that I need, but it's us or myself working towards these answers, on my own, with their guided help. Sort of, I want people to know, if you need help, it's beyond okay to go do that, seek that out and just try it, because I think people will be happier, healthier, and maybe be able to help someone in turn.
I thank you for bringing attention to that. I think it's so important. Of course, when fans hear Blake Griffin is putting out a podcast, their ears immediately perk up and they think, oh my gosh, I'm going to get this peek into his life off of the court. And of course, a component of that could be your dating life. I know you're a very private person. So I'm just curious, how do you, as such a public figure with people who are always so interested in what you're doing, how do you navigate all of that?
I think it's trial and error. I think you know, as you get older, it changes. I think you just take things slow and you really like try to get to know somebody. You know, like rushing into something can be, you know, can be great for some people, but sometimes detrimental for others. So I think for me, making sure that I really know and trust someone before you get to that level is important, but it's always challenging. I don't think anybody has like that perfect formula.
I mean, look, I once saw you at Alfred Coffee here in Los Angeles, one of my favorites,
Yeah.
and there was a swarm of paparazzi outside, and everybody was just like clamoring to get a shot of what you were doing or who you were with. I mean, how do you react to that and that being part of your life?
I mean, I think you know, for me, life could be so much worse. You know, if that's like one thing that's like, you know, annoying, then I'll gladly take it. It's just not something that you can sit and truly complain about. Could you want a little bit more privacy? Of course, but you know, I'm blessed to be able to play basketball and do what I love doing, and have the friends and family around me that I have. So I can't really add that to like a high list of complaints.
The fans want to know, is he single or is he seeing someone?
Yeah, I'm single right now. I'm just kind of focusing on, I guess, myself and my family, my kids, and my career and the things I'm doing, which is nice. So we'll see.
What catches your eye?
Honesty, I guess. You know, somebody that, like I said earlier, somebody you can trust and that you really like genuinely have a good time with. I think that catches my eye the most.
Well, you bring up your beautiful family. I know you've got an almost 7-year-old.
Yeah,
Is he almost 7?
Saturday, actually. Yeah, it'll be 7,
Wow.
August 1st. Yeah.
Wow, happy early birthday to Ford. I know you've got little Finley.
Yeah.
I'm curious, are they following in either mom or dad's footsteps? Are you seeing little glimpses of them and possibly what the future might look like?
As a kid, like my dad was a basketball coach and I played for him, and he didn't really let us start playing sports until we were 6 years old. So I sort of did the same thing with Ford. He started a little bit before that, but yeah, he loves sports. But the thing that I want him to do is just have fun with it. It's never something I'll push on him, but yeah, he sort of loves it on his own. And little Finn, we're still waiting. She's a little bit, she's a wild card. Always trying to keep up with her big brother. And very smart and she already has like her opinions. So even at 3, most of the time she's doing whatever Ford does, but she's just, I love her. I love them both, obviously, but she's just so different and so her own person that we're holding off on sports for her for now.
Do they have any idea who mom and dad are, that they're, you know, legendary athletes?
I don't know like what their thoughts are about it, but you know, they're definitely aware of you know, how big a role sports plays in my life and their life as well, you know.
I got to end on a very hard-hitting piece of journalism here. Blake, I think you have to know at this point that everyone views you as a total sex symbol. And I would love to know how you react to that.
I honestly haven't given it much thought, to be honest. I appreciate it. I appreciate anybody that has anything kind to say, because, you know, in 2020, in this climate, you can hear a lot of negative stuff about yourself.
Sure.
So I really appreciate the fans and the people who are genuine about that. But yeah, I just, you know, gotta stay focused.
Do you have fun with the tweets that just kind of run rampant every time you either post a shirtless photo and you know your thighs are like a national treasure at this point? Do you ever see those tweets, and how does it make you feel?
Yeah, I see, from time to time I see some. There's one of my favorites was, I was shooting something one time and I took a picture with a friend of mine, Jimmy O Yang, and I don't know what it was, maybe it was the chair or how I was sitting, but I always see that picture from time to time. And one time somebody tweeted at me and was like, "Good morning to everyone, but especially good morning to Blake Griffin and his ties." And I thought it was hilarious. So yeah, I do appreciate when people have fun with it like that, because it's definitely funny.